This was a video that I didn't plan on making and wasn't wanting to make. I'm going to sell this. This is my Olympus EM1 Mark II, and I haven't been so excited about a camera maybe ever as when I got this. And it's wild that now, not that much later, I'm gonna, I don't know, sell it, trade it in, get rid of it somehow. Now it's not inherently because the camera's not a great camera. This is a fantastic, wild, amazing camera that checked so many boxes for me and still has one of the most complete packages for the price that I've ever seen. It's just simply that my specific one has really noisy preamps, and so I get this hissing, loud, terrible audio all the time, except if I put it, I made another video about this, put it in kind of one mode, and I use my Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, and then you don't really hear it, even though it's just very subtly there, but somehow it sucks the joy out of it for me, knowing that I can't use a little wireless like the Rode Wireless Goes, which I love so much, especially I want to try the new version, or Deity sent me their VMic, I don't know, the vlogging one. It's got front and back capsules, and that would be fantastic for vlogging. And then there's also a couple other issues where I can't actually get the software with Olympus to work on. Now, I have an M1 MacBook Air, and that could be why, but it only works with OBS, and it doesn't work with Zoom, doesn't work with Teams for USB, so I have to use capture cards, which I have around. But then there's also the HDMI issue where if you're in 4K on this, it sends out these huge video 4K output for clean HDMI that actually doesn't work with my Blackmagic Atom Mini, doesn't work with my capture card, and so I have to turn it down to 1080p, which should be fine, but the output looks better in 4K if you could actually get 4K, and maybe I could buy a new capture card, maybe I could do all these things, but I feel like there are workarounds that unfortunately have stolen some of the joy of the camera. Now, if you bought one of these, especially if you bought it off one of my videos, know that it's still an amazing, fantastic camera, and if there was a way that I knew I could just swap this out for one that worked, I'd be very, very tempted to keep it. In fact, I would want to keep it. But the problem is that I'm probably going to have to sell this at a loss because I know that the preamp is terrible in it, or I'll have to trade it in somewhere to a camera store where they can take care of that. So I don't have a way of just going across. If I could upgrade to an EM1 Mark III, that would be amazing, or the EM5 Mark III. Both of those are fantastic options. But all of that being said, I've been thinking lately about, if I could vlog with any camera, what camera would I want to vlog with? And you'll notice I'm recording on something, which is the camera that I've bought for my new camera to kind of hopefully do everything. I'm not actually sure if it's possible, because this is a camera that is not designed to do, or shouldn't be able to do everything. But I think that it might be able to do everything. Let's flip around and talk about it, okay? Should I do a cool YouTuber transition, or should I just do a... All right, so thinking back to the times of when I had the most fun creating content, it was actually when I had the Canon M50, and I still love that camera to this day. It's not what's here. But the reason that camera was so much fun was because it was just so easy, and I didn't have to think about it. And going from the M50, I went to the EOS R with an amazing 16-35 f4 Canon image stabilized, and that was the best looking camera that I ever had, that EOS R. But it wasn't as much fun to make content with because it was big and huge and bulky and annoying to bring everywhere. Where the M50 almost felt pocketable, not quite, but again, just so easy. And this OMD EM1 Mark II I've just had to think about too much lately. But if you know this channel, you know I'm not trying to be the top 1%er of quality content creators. Not the Peter McKinnons, the Becky and Chris's, the Gerald Unduns, I could go through the list of all the people, Dunnas, and all the people who you just look at and you go, wow, that looks amazing. I don't know that I could reproduce it. I've got 2 old Aperture LED lights with a little diffuser on them, and that's kind of what I go with. I care more about being able to communicate something. And when I get excited about something, just throwing a camera on a GorillaPod and going for it. And so that's what I want to be able to do, but not just here, kind of everywhere. And I have some dreams this summer of potentially starting a new YouTube channel. It's probably going to be golf focused. I actually want to start like a golf vlog. Golf is going to be actually really huge this year because of the nature of the world and people needing to get outside and find a new sport. And I think golf can be completely reinvented to make it fun, because right now golf has this weird issue where if you don't golf, you don't watch golf, because there's not really a reason to. They haven't made it accessible, whereas lots of people who don't play basketball watch basketball, and lots of people who don't play hockey watch hockey. Those are entertainment, or football, or you could take all those other sports, but golf is something that you get outside, it's socially distanced and safe and all those things, but it's such an interesting sport because it's you against yourself. Anyway, so I have this idea of being able to do a golf vlog, but vlogging on a golf course means you need to be able to move really quickly, set things up, have something that just fits into your bag that isn't a big rig. And I thought the same camera that I could use to vlog on the course, I think I could actually set up in here and still make videos, because it still needs to have a sensor that looks good, a lens with a little bit of flexibility, audio input, and great autofocus and all those things. And so it's crazy to say, but I just got a ZV-1, Canadian. Say ZV-1. ZV-1 for those of you who are other places. If you're from a country that isn't the US or Canada, do you say Z or Z? Very curious on that. You can comment below if you want. But the ZV-1, because, well, it does everything. It's got a flip out screen you can see yourself with. It's got the great 24 to 70 equivalent f1.8 to 2.8 lens. It's got a built-in ND filter, shoots 4K. You can plug it in and use it as a webcam. It's got clean HDMI output. It's got an audio input finally, which the RX 100 I don't think ever had. It's got kind of everything that you need, and the autofocus is unbelievable. It's great for product shots. It's got HDR video. It's got log if you want to do that. And it's, well, I mean, it's $750 US. I bought this for $700 used Canadian. I found it on Facebook Marketplace from a guy I know. So I trust him that it's in reasonably good shape. And it just works. And I can stick it in my pocket, literally in my pocket, which is amazing. And I'm going to try it out and see. And not just because I needed a new video for this channel, a new camera to keep things interesting, although it certainly doesn't hurt. But I think that this camera can kind of do it all. Or at least I'm curious to try it out and see if it can do it all. And who knows? It's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy value proposition for what the camera is. Obviously, you don't get interchangeable lenses. You're not going to get wild cinematic B-roll. But for a guy who's doing golf, you can slow down a golf swing. If you've ever watched golf, it used to be the Konica Minolta Swing Vision Cam or something like that, where they could shoot like 1,000 frames per second. I don't know if it was. Maybe it was 500 frames per second. 960 frames per second may not look as good, but even the 240 on this is going to look amazing. But I'm excited to try out this camera and see. I hope I don't break it, because it is a little plasticky. But otherwise, it's a weird, wild, special package. Have you tried this camera? It's cool. The thing that this OMD EM1 Mark II taught me, this and both the G7, it's still forever here, is that the 12 to 35 on this, which is like a 24 to 70, is totally doable for vlogging. It's not quite as nice as the ultra wide in some senses, but you can still absolutely make it work. And having 70 on the other end is also kind of handy. So while I wish they would still make like a 16 to 50 and something like this, please, Sony, Canon, anybody, I think this will work. Have I been recording? I haven't. Whew, that scared me for a second. But I'm going to leave these issues that I've been having with this camera behind. I'm going to give this a shot. I have a virtual Zoom with a company that buys cameras. I saw an event advertised locally. I'm going to see what they offer for me. Or if there's somebody on the channel where you want a fantastic studio camera where you do what I've been doing lately, which is just using an external recorder, and you don't need to take this vlogging anywhere. This actual body is fantastic. It has like less than 1,000 shutter actuations on it. It's basically brand new. I am kind of gutted. I'm going to be sad to see it go because it is such a good camera. But for the price, how can you argue with this? If you enjoy this content, subscribe to the channel. Apparently it works to ask you. I Should guilt you into it. No, but if you've been following along, there's going to be more camera-related content. If for some reason you're interested in the golf thing, I don't know that it'll be on this channel. I'm thinking about maybe starting another channel. I got a golf membership this year, and I'm excited. But to make golf fun, I want to talk about how to not look like a golfer when you're not on the golf course, and cool fashion and fun, and make fun of people, and who knows, maybe meet some interesting people. And it's another way to kind of explore the world that we live in right now with fun and interesting people. So who knows what that looks like. But I'm Justin Rivas. This has been a long-winded video. I guess it is what it is. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. I apologize to all the people who are going to be sad that I'm away from Olympus, Dave Benny's. I'm sorry. Send me a couple $1,000s. I'll try it out again. Okay.